everybody, and welcome to another episode of We Watch Shudder. My name is JD. Who's here with me?
It's Michelle for the third time, but the audience doesn't know that, but now they do. We live in a hellscape. It's me. Hi.
Hi, guys. We're having some internet trouble tonight. We're going to try to power through it, but happy to be here. Is that... I guess it depends on what you mean by here, and also what you mean by happy. Also what you mean by be, I guess. Michelle, save me. I'm spiraling.
I would love to save you, but I watched that be delayed for several seconds. So the spiral is going to continue. I saw it. I saw your mouse still moving, and the words did not line up. So we'll see how bad that is. And if we just have to fix it in post, then hey, maybe this is the first episode in the history of We Watch Shudder where we don't talk over each other because we physically can't.
You know what this is? This is probably the universe telling us we should have fucking waited for Jenna.
Yeah, you guys, you're missing out. Jenna could have guessed it with us. You know Jenna. Jenna who never watches the movie Jenna, but who has now been promoted to Jenna who's so awesome that it hurts me to hang out with her because I'm just like, ugh, your hair's so cute. Ugh, you have a cool ear tattoo. Ugh, you're friends with everybody. Like, how dare she? Anyway, she was going to be a guest, and then she just stopped responding.
Big timed us. Yeah, she just big timed us. She was like, nah, don't need to do it. It's fine. Oh, by the way, if this is your first time tuning in to We Watch Shudder, yes, it is always a nightmare. My name is JD, and that's Michelle, and we watch Shudder, and we talk about it. That's the whole premise of the show. Thank you for tuning in. We're watching a movie. We watched a movie for today. I did. Did you actually watch the movie, Michelle?
I did. I was going to try to watch the new one, and that didn't happen. Also, quick disclaimer, because we were having so many technical issues, and because of what my brain's been doing lately, which is the fun thing it does where it's like, hey, you're manic. Why don't you do 20 things at once? What do you mean you physically can't? Why don't you have a panic attack about how you're not a fucking octopus and you can juggle only some things at once and not all of them? Have you considered reorganizing your closet? How about in the middle of this work call that's done remotely so nobody can see you? Maybe you should take everything out of your closet and put it on the floor of your room. And oh no, now your room's messy. That's completely ruining your ability to be productive at all because now you're just fixated on that. But it is the middle of the workday, so we have to get back to work now. Oh yeah, no, actually instead we should schedule another meeting, and then how about we rearrange during this one? And how about we just keep thinking all the things we could be doing, like learning how to solve a Rubik's Cube and putting on nails, because we haven't done our nails in a while. Maybe we should do our nails right now. Our nails should be done. Why aren't they done? Why do you feel the texture of your nails so much? Why does it feel weird? Are your cuticles okay? Google, what should cuticles feel like? Is there such a thing as too hard cuticles? Anyway, we just bought 2 different types of cuticle oil. I don't even know what that does. Anyway, I took 2 Xanax, so if this gets loopier than usual. Clearly it hasn't kicked in yet.
I was gonna say, if this is you on 2 Xanax, holy shit.
I messaged you yesterday and said I still could not watch the movie because I was vibrating, not physically, but in my body. I couldn't concentrate on shit, except I decided now would be a good time to play Yakuza 4 because I got the ones that I was missing on the Black Friday deal. So that was the only thing I could concentrate on. Was I was in real life and not able to focus on anything and panicking, or I was in Yakuza 4 playing Mahjong, the most serene game ever. That can capture my attention, but when it comes to a real life task, absolutely not. Also, I passed my accounting final with an A. No, with a B. I got an A in class. So yeah, it's been a week. It was a week, and it's apparently still a week, and it'll continue being a week, and every week will be a week because that's the definition of a week, and this is what we live in. We live in time, supposedly.
Well,
so yeah, we watched a movie.
Circle. We did. We watched a movie. It's an old movie from 1984 times, called Silent Night, Deadly Night. As Michelle alluded to, we were going to try and watch both this one and the brand new 2025 reimagined Silent Night, Deadly Night. I know Michelle has her reasons for not being able to go see it. My reasons for not being able to go see it was simply I have the seasonal depression and my mom died, and I just don't really want to go out in public for a while and sit in places. I'm spending a lot of time alone with my dog, which I don't know if that's necessarily the wisest way to spend December, but hey, the days start getting longer as of today as we record this, so that's a thumbs up, right? I'm definitely in a place where the seasonal depression and my current very limited amount of sunlight intake, because my sleep schedule is all thrown off because I'm still not fully back at a regular work schedule yet. And so, yeah, I've very much in a non-joking sense kind of lost all track of what time of day it is, or even what day it is, or any of that. So it's often confusing. How long ago did I take my meds the last time? Oh man, so I need to get some structure established so I can get back to some normalcy. But hey, once again, if you are tuning in for the first time, yes, we do quite often dig through a therapy portion on the show where shit just comes vomiting out like fucking black Jägermeister guts. Oh man, I had a sudden memory of vomiting Jägermeister the other day, and I haven't been able to get it out of my head for several days. Ugh. I did some terrible things to myself.
Shots. Do you think that would help?
No.
Do you think that would help?
Here's something I can tell you with absolute certainty on account of the number of times I tried it and it failed. Jägermeister will never, ever help. Never. Okay. Anything. Well, just full stop. It will never, ever help.
My idea is that maybe I will get so inebriated that I will slow down.
I mean, there are ways to do that don't involve Jägermeister. There's more to Jägermeister than just the alcohol, Michelle. There's also the obscene amount of sugar, and then also just the very visceral sensory experience of drinking so much of a black licorice drink that which is also dyed a very, very, very dark color. The number of times that I have very literally vomited pitch black vomit out of my body like a fucking monster on a horror movie is it's sort of trud. Don't look. I'm not saying I'm not gonna be that. Like, if you're gonna be a drunk, maybe don't drink Jägermeister. I guess is the direction I'm going. There's so much sugar, your hangovers are gonna suck. If you gotta drink liquor, drink that clear liquor. That clear liquor is your safest bet.
Liquor. If you gotta drink liquor, drink Tito's vodka, because a huge portion of their sales go to help dogs in need. Go look up Tito's for Dogs and you'll find their website full of merch that you can buy to represent how much you love that they give back to dogs. I love Tito's. They're a huge supporter of the rescue I volunteer for.
Yeah, that's why you love Tito's. It's not because you're a fucking drunk. Wow, really aggressive. Holy shit.
I think the last time I got drunk was when I was having that really bad cough last month, and my go-to is blackberry brandy, because then it burns your throat, and then you care a little bit less about the fact that you can't breathe. So
you care a little less about the fact that you can't breathe. There's a few ways you can make that happen, let me tell you.
Yeah, it does help with the cough a little bit, but I would still say that you're never really going to get to a complete lack of sound. Like, it'll never really be a silent night, deadly night, if you get what I'm saying.
Oh, I see what you did there, bringing it all back around to the movie. Yeah, we're talking about 1984 holiday-themed slasher classic, Silent Night, Deadly Night, which, as it turns out, is one of those classic 80s heyday gimmicky slasher movies that I had never seen. And also, you had never seen this, correct, Michelle?
Yeah, I thought I had. I was wrong. That's how that works.
I think it's another one of those cases where, again, I've seen so many clips from it in so many things along the way that I feel like I already had a sort of familiarity with it. But, yeah, I had never actually sat down and watched the movie, got to do that. And we were going to do the new one. We didn't. Deal with it, guys. This is not your podcast. We're doing it for free.
That was not our fault.
You don't get to make demands. You don't get to make demands on Michelle and I.
They only had it in theaters for a week. Yeah, right. And they only had it in theaters for a week. We didn't have a choice. They took the choice from us. I was going to go this weekend.
If more of you had gone to see it in theaters so that it had made more money, there's a much stronger chance that we would have been able to go see it. But you didn't, so now we don't get to, so get off our backs.
And if more of you had gone to see it and it made more money, there's still a good chance that we would not have gone to see it. But you know what? That's just who we are as people.
Yeah, so deal with it.
Get off our backs. Anyway, Silent Night, Deadly Night. Yeah, Silent Night, Deadly Night,
1984. Michelle, did you figure out a Descrippy script for the movie for folks who may have never seen this one before?
Yes, I did.
If you're not certain, because I assume some people who listen might not understand, a Descrippy script is a description.
Whoa, I'm so glad you explained it.
I know, right? We're so clever.
Yeah. Here's my Descrippy script, which is the first part of the IMDb description, which I like. The second part, I don't like that part. So Silent Night, Deadly Night, according to IMDb, little Billy witnesses his parents getting killed by Santa after being warned by his senile grandpa that Santa punishes those who are naughty. Silent Night, Deadly Night, original title, Silent Night, Deadly Night, 1984, rated R, 1 hour, 19 minutes. Back when movies were 90 minutes or less. Wow. Those were the good old days. I want those days back. I also don't think I was bipolar when that was still a thing. I think I was still... I mean, I might have been bipolar, but I didn't have any of the symptoms, so that would have been a good time. Let's go back to that time.
I'm sorry, Michelle, did you say an hour and 19 minutes?
Yes.
It's an hour and 29 minutes. 89 minutes.
According to IMDb, it's an hour and 19, so IMDb is lying to me.
Really? Yeah, well, the one we watched on Shudder is 89 minutes.
Still under 90? I ain't hating it.
Oh, I'm not hating it at all. I suddenly I was like, wait, this wasn't that short of a film, was it? But
IMDb
maybe there are
IMDb,
different
more
versions.
Like LIMDB.
Oh, LIMDB.
That's the conspiracy we all got to get behind. IMDb, why are they lying about their runtimes? What are they hiding? Where are they running from with these running times? I don't know,
Michelle. Hey, Michelle.
I don't know either. Huh?
Would you like to hit us with your spoiler-free thoughts in regard to Silent Night, Deadly Night, 1984?
I'm really afraid of structure right now, but I can try.
Okay.
It's a good movie for what it is. It's not like if this was made today and I went to see it in a movie theater, like this exact movie, not the 2025 remake. That just happens to be a thing right now. But if I went to see this movie and they're like, new movie produced by Guillermo del Toro, Silent Night, Deadly Night, I would leave the theater so disappointed. But if I was watching this movie at home, knowing that it's going to be something about a murderous Santa Claus, or maybe not, it's called Silent Night, Deadly Night, and if I was just watching at home expecting what I expected, then it's a real good time. Context for this one matters, because you know what? It's not a good movie, but in some cases, it's a good movie. It depends how you're feeling. So you know what? I'm going to give it a nice middling 3. I mean, it's a murderous Christmas film. You can't go right and you can't go wrong with that concept. Silent Night, Deadly Night. 3 out of 5 human skulls.
3 out of 5 for Michelle on Silent Night, Deadly Night. I am not figuring out. Apparently, there was like a theatrical cut and then like a different edit. I don't know. It's not that big of a deal. I was trying to figure out anytime there's disparity in times like that, especially for a horror movie in this era. I'm always curious because there were a lot of these movies that just got butchered, right, by people to make less problematic versions, and I always want to make sure I know which version of it I saw, but it's fine.
I bet the non-problematic version had less titties.
And probably less gore would be my guess.
Nah.
Okay,
now are just afraid of nipples.
This is even more ridiculous
now you're
because.
Oh no.
What? What'd you say?
I said, "Oh no, you're fixated," and then I picked up the little nail kit I have on my desk because I had to fiddle with it.
No, well, what's interesting to me is, as I was about to say, that on the Shudder website, it says it's an 89-minute film, right? Like on the landing page for Silent Night, Deadly Night, 1984, English, 89 minutes. When you play the film, it's 84 minutes. So
a third time.
I believe what the one we watched on Shudder is the like original theatrical cut with all the extra gore that was trimmed down at some point here. It doesn't matter. I just got obsessed. Let's talk about the movie.
Yeah. Does any of that of what just happened in the last couple minutes affect your review?
No, I just
want
to make sure that yes, it could have. Yeah, if I had somehow found out that I had like not seen a complete cut of the movie and missed out on some things that might have changed my opinion of it, then yeah, for sure. But it looks like I was
seriously asking.
Oh,
sometimes things like that bothered you. No, sometimes things like that bother you. Clearly it did.
No, I'm satisfied that I saw the appropriate version of this movie. That being said, my spoiler-free thoughts on this movie is, I kind of agree with, like, this is really sort of a tale of two movies for me. There are parts of this that I really liked, and parts of it that were very clearly just like, oh, this is like straight-up Roger Corman, Hersch Gordon Lewis exploitation nonsense. Like, this is definitive exploitation horror. In a lot of ways, but then there are other things about it where I'm like, man, like I guess what I'm trying to say is there are times in this movie where I felt like there was at least a very strong possibility that there was a better movie that could have been made here, if that makes any sense to you. Gonna be real similar to you on this one. I gave this one a 3.5 skulls.
Oh, 3.5 human skulls, or did you pick a different type of living organism?
3.5 Santa skulls.
Okay, wow. You're implying that there's at least 3.5 Santas.
And that Santas are not human.
I don't necessarily think that statement says that Santa can't be human, because you could have said 3.5 barber skulls. It's not implying that barbers aren't human. It is narrowing down the criteria.
Well, all I'm saying is maybe Santa's not human.
Okay, well, that's fair. That's also me disagreeing that statement is not me disagreeing that the possibility is not there. Yeah?
Look, Michelle, maybe what I'm saying is maybe, wink, nudge, hint, hint, maybe Santas aren't human. I know what I'm talking... Look, do you guys not know about non-human Santa Claus?
As opposed to...
I better shut up. Fucking send the fucking elves in black after me or whatever.
Oh no. That sounds adorable and scary.
That's so dumb. Can we please talk about this movie?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just over here putting nails on.
3.5 skulls from me, 3 skulls from Michelle. That's a 3.25. Michelle, you just went with a flat 3 after all this time of giving like weird... like random decimal scores. You're just going with a perfectly flat 3 on this one?
Listen, I think the Xanax is working. Just go with it.
I just wanted to make sure. So that's a 3.25 skull average. 3.25. That's not too bad. Yep. All right. So if you've never seen it and you don't want any spoilers, this is where you're going to want to pause the episode to go watch the movie. And right now, the interesting part of all of our episodes are the most interesting to me, especially today, considering the Xanax situation. Michelle will now attempt to summarize, for those of you listening, the plot of Silent Night, Deadly Night, 1984, directed by Charles E. Sellier. Michelle.
Okay. Silent Night, Deadly Night, 1984. It's the 80s. There's a child. He's in a car. There are parents. They're in the car. There's a younger kid. He's in the car. There's a whole bunch of them. They're going to see an old guy who's a grandpa. Grandpa of who? The two boys. That's how a family works. So they're like, whoa, my grandpa's catatonic. And then the parents leave him alone. And then the grandpa isn't catatonic. And he turns mischievously to the boy and is explaining that Santa's gonna punish him real good. And that Santa's a big old scary asshole and traumatizes this kid and then goes back to pretending he's catatonic. What does that have to do with the rest of the movie? Not much, but it does set it up for what this becomes. It's never explained why the grandpa suddenly could speak and why that was the thing he decided to say. So that's how the movie starts. And then on their way home from this terrifying grandpa encounter, they have a different kind of terrifying encounter. And who is it? Oh, bitch, it's Santa. What terrible, terrible timing. And even worse timing is this is a Santa that just robbed a place, shot a guy. Now he's gonna kill this little kid's parents, which he does, not before doing a little good old-fashioned sexum assaultum, where he rips the kid's mom's shirt open and then slits her throat. And wow, that kid, he's not gonna like Santa. So he goes to an orphanage. Both kids go to an orphanage. Even though we had extended family in the form of a grandpa, we apparently don't have any other extended family, or at least any other extended family that likes kids, which, you know what? Fair enough. It is a lot of responsibility to suddenly take in two children that age who are terrified of Santa. Now the movie is a different kind of horror movie, where now the horror is these nuns and their physical punishment. And Billy, not the Billy from Black Christmas, completely different Billy. I was curious to see if there was a tie-in, and there was not. So this orphanage has nuns, and they like physical abuse. And Billy stumbles across a nun and a boy having sex, and the nun smacks the other nun for doing that. She's like, no, that, how dare you, or sister, whatever she was, but two people. And then she beats Billy for coming across it. So this kid's just got a lot of fucked up stuff going on in his life between Santa and sex. Both those things wires all sorts of cross, kind of like Christmas lights, you know, where one of them burns out but the rest keep going. His whole line of Christmas lights, we don't know which one's broken, but there's definitely a broken one fucking the rest of them up. So then Santa comes to the orphanage, and Billy gets real mad and terrified, and I think he punches or kicks or runs away from Santa. Something happens, and then he gets tied to a bed. Because how do you solve trauma? With more trauma. It negates itself. Like -1 times -1 becomes a +1. Negative experience times negative experience equals positive experience. No, this kid's so fucked up. But now he's 18 and he's getting a job and he's lifting stuff and he's a big old handsome guy. He got the big arms, and the guy's like, whoa, can you lift things? And he's like, I sure can. I'm Billy. I'm definitely not broken in my head about Santa Claus. He's like, I didn't ask, but okay, cool. Tell me one of your strengths and one of your weaknesses. He's like, my strengths is my arms. My weakness is Santa Claus. And he's like, okay, you're hired. So now Billy's just going around this store lifting boxes and having a crush on a girl. Think her name was Pam or something really 80s like that. And then they need Billy to play the part of Santa. And Billy's not like, I'm going to advocate for myself and say that this would be a bad effect on my mental health and that this probably wouldn't be a good environment. No, it's the 80s and men can't admit that they have feelings. So he goes, okay, I guess I'm Santa now. And then he goes a little bit crazy. And what do I mean by that? Well, he stumbles across Pam getting raped almost by her coworker. The coworker is like, I have to show you a gift. And she's like, well, if you want to show me a gift, why didn't you do it in front of everybody? And he's like, it's not kind of a gift that I can show everybody. And like, Pam, girl, you should know what that means. that man's gonna whip out his dick. And he does. He tries. But then he gets strangled with Christmas lights and slashed. And then somehow Pam is mad at Santa Claus Billy for some reason, where she's like, I don't like that you just killed my rapist. Pam, come on. Get real. He's a hero. Nope, just kidding. Santa Claus Billy also kills Pam for no discernible reason except that she was a sexual being and we don't like that. Then he kills the manager and one of the other employees. And then he goes to a house where two teenagers, guess what? They're having sex. One of them's a babysitter. The other one's her boyfriend she snuck into the house. And then there's a little girl, and it's just that trope of the babysitter's fucking and not paying attention to the kids. I had one of those. She got fired by my mom because when I was a baby, my mom came home early and found the babysitter having sex on the couch while I was just hanging out in my playpen a couple feet away. Am I broken a little bit? I mean, I don't remember that, but probably. Does that explain a lot of the things going on with me? Potentially. What does go on with this couple, though, is they get murdered, because, you know, as you do. And then the little girl comes down, and she's just so excited to see Santa, and Santa's asking her, like, have you been a bad girl? Have you been a bad girl? Hoping that she'll say yes so he can do some more murdering, because goddamn, Santa Claus Billy loves murdering. It's his favorite thing. Is just like, if he got a stocking and he opened it up and it had like chocolate and fun little stocking stuffers, he would be so mad. He wants knives and misery. But the little girl insists that she's been a good girl and she doesn't need to be punished by Santa. So then he gives her the ultimate Christmas gift, which is a blade. A box cutter, and not in like the way that I could say like he gave this girl a box cutter and I mean murder. No, like he's just like, here you go, you've been real good. And she's like, Santa's weird. And then he leaves and he goes back to the orphanage, and one of the sisters from the orphanage, she figured out that Billy was losing his fucking mind becoming Santa, because she called the work and they were like, no, he's too busy being Santa. And she's like, he should not be Santa right now. And instead of telling anybody over the phone, she gets in a car and decides that she's gonna do it, you know, the old style. She was just communicating with somebody over a phone, but instead of doing that, she's like, I'm gonna drive there. And by the time she gets there, oh shit, people are dead. Wow, that's crazy how if you lack instant communication, people die. So then she's like, whoa, he's gonna go back to the orphanage, and he does. And his little brother is still at the orphanage, and there's a whole thing, and he winds up almost dying, and he says to the kids, don't worry, you're safe, Santa Claus is dead, or something along those lines. But then his little brother, he turns around, he's like, naughty. So now it's implied that the kid's fucked up. And I bet the 2025 movie, I bet it's about that kid. That's my guess. Silent Night, Deadly Night. Let me tell you, for a Silent Night, Deadly Night, there sure was an awful lot of screaming. Noisy Night, Deadly Night. They really fucked up that title.
Oh, okay. Well, say goodnight, Michelle.
Oh, goodnight, Michelle. And like a parrot, you put the cover over my head. I'm like, oh, time to go to bed. Okay.
Oh. So, Silent Night, Deadly Night. This movie, it obviously, so apparently this started out as a script that somebody wrote that was called Sleigh Ride, Slayride. And then it got taken, it got bought or whatever, and some other guys got a hand on it, and they did a bunch of rewrites to it, and then it got made. And obviously, I don't know which way it went, but I feel like this was probably like more along the lines of the like the first half of the movie, where it's more just like almost like a psychological. Like, it's still very much a B movie, but it's this very much this sort of like procedural sort of like serial or spree killer sort of thing, where they're walking you through the. Like, it seems like it comes out of that day when criminal FBI profiling was first becoming a thing and becoming widely known, and so they there's this, they walk you through that whole process of like, oh, here he is as a little kid, his grandpa, like they take you step by step through like his development into becoming a killer, and then it just switches then at that point to this just sort of like mindless 80s slasher sort of vibe. And I wonder if that original script was supposed to be more of like what we were getting in the first half of the movie, and they just turned it into, a cash-in from there. But I actually really liked the first half of this, the parts where it's not quite as just like gory slasher, when, they're building up the development of the character and just that pattern. You see just this chain of dominoes that starts with just like his creepy grandpa just being fucking weird, but then it just so happens then that like they run into that evil Santa, and he watches Santa kill his mother and his father, but also watches Santa kill his mother in a somewhat sexual fashion that he doesn't understand at the time. Now, the next time we see him, he's at the orphanage, and he's making a drawing of Santa murdering his family, and he's getting punished for just even acknowledging or trying to remember this thing that happened to him, and being told he should just be stuffing this all down. And you've got the one nun who's like, no, we should really be trying to engage him in this and help him process through that. And you have the other nun who's like, nah, we should just hit him about it. Just hit him about it and stuff him in his room and tell him he's a bad boy. And then, one day he just happens to see this he hears a weird noise through a door, and he looks through the peephole. And it's like, I don't know what's going on in there. It's oddly like, it's clearly very different from, but also very similar to what that guy was trying to do to my mom when he killed her. And now, oh shit, here's the nun. That's naughty. That's a naughty thing. And now he associates, he creates two associations there. He associates, whatever was going on there with his mom's death, and that it's a naughty thing. And then he gets older and he starts to feel little sexual urges, and now he's like, the way they just it's actually really smartly built up step by step the trauma that this dude suffered on multiple levels that ultimately resulted in him finally, like, he gets there and he sees Pamela getting what did you say, sexum assaultum, Michelle? Yeah. I just immediately thought of like Rock'em Sock'em Robots, but with a much heavier
That's
cost
what I was going
involved. For. Yeah, yep. Okay. But and he breaks, right? He breaks, and he's like, I have to save my mom from this awful person, but I also have to punish. He's got all these frayed wires all clipped on so many ends in so many different directions, and then just all lay in a pile together and create this mess that starts out with he thinks he's doing the right thing, right? Because he's punishing a bad person and he's protecting his mother. But then the reaction he gets immediately is, oh, Jesus, I mean, thank you for helping me, but fuck, you didn't have to kill him. And now he's lost, right? He's fucking spun, and now he's going crazy and killing people. All of that part of the movie was great. And then it just turns into just the most rudimentary, just you've seen it a million times, slasher nonsense for the rest of the film. And it's not even that it was bad. It's just like, even the killing in that first half of the movie, that's all like super cheap and easy. The worst thing you see in that first 45 minutes is like blood knife stuff, right? There's just a lot of blood, but you don't see, like eventually you get decapitations. You do get the incredible set piece of Linnea Quigley getting shoved through the antlers on that stuffed deer head and just hanging from the wall. I will say that was a fucking inspired moment in a movie. It would have, I think, felt more at home in like a Friday the 13th film with what they did there, or an Evil Dead film. But yeah, it just, at that point, it just became another movie, and I didn't care anymore. And I've ranted a long time because, look, here's the thing: is having never seen this, as I was watching it, I'm just like, holy fuck! How have I never seen this? This is actually a really smart, really well written movie. And then I hit that hump where it just becomes slasher again, and I was like, oh, okay, I get it. Anyway, I don't even know what I'm rambling about anymore. You talk.
Much like Billy, when he hits that hump, he also turns into a slasher. Because sex.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I see what you did there.
I am in complete agreement with you where what makes this movie stand apart is the beginning. It's not a bunch of teenage girls at a slumber party and whoa, there's a Santa here and they're just trying to murder everybody, which I went into this expecting a lot of stuff that I've seen, but just with some different kills because it's Santa, you know? And I didn't get that. I mean, I did in the second half, and I think that's why so much of that I just kind of glossed over in the recap because I didn't care as much. Like, I don't... Older movies like this, you gotta have something real special if you want me to watch it and like it. And it turned into the kind of movie that I was just bored by because I'm like, at this point, I have seen so many people die. I have seen a whole genocide of movie deaths. I have seen every type of death. I read books about death. I've even imagined different types of death because of those books. So the stuff I haven't seen, it's still up there. But I haven't seen a whole lot of Santa deaths, and so I was hoping for something different, and I did get that in the first part, and then it just turned into, would you like more deaths for your brain catalog? Yeah, I guess. So I got some. Yeah. The antler one was so dumb, though. I hated that death. That's too much effort. You could not put Linnea Quigley on a set of antlers that slowly and that easily. First off, I'm not saying she's a heavy lady, but a human body, an adult, aka teenage girl, is heavy. To hold up like that and get her position just right to stab her through antlers slowly, not even with a good amount of force, least plausible part of this movie was Linnea Quigley.
I don't disagree, but this is again why I say I feel like that would have been way more at home in like a Friday the 13th film. You know, not just because of the you know, the stuffed deer head on a wall, but just, you know, the strength involved. It's the kind of thing that Jason Voorhees would do. But like even like his first kill where he wraps the Christmas lights around the dude's neck and then holds him up off the ground by one hand. Yeah, those elements of it absolutely ridiculous. Those are the places where it just kind of fell over. You could see that it's just like, oh, this is where they just desperately tried to turn this into a cash in on the 80s splatter craze. You know, it's like, oh, out of left field halfway through the movie, suddenly he's like chopping people's heads off and shit. It's kind of wild.
I have a theory about Billy's bizarre strength. And I think that this movie was ahead of its time. Even though it was made in 1984, it was still able to deduce that incels will have a lot of free time when they're not fucking, and that they will spend their time working out and hating women.
That's a solid theory, at least. I think it's a workable hypothesis that's worth looking into.
Billy is the first incel.
Well, I don't know. I think, well,
maybe not the first. Jesus was the first.
Oh, Jesus, oh, fuck. I would like to point out that Michelle said it and not me. Jesus was the first incel.
I was about to say, well, I thought Jesus was a virgin, but that was his mom. Jesus probably laid pipe. He probably got down. That's the whole thing behind the Da Vinci Code, isn't it? That Jesus had a kid because he liked to be freaky. Can you imagine the girl who was like, ugh, my baby daddy, Jesus. He keeps disappearing. Oh, man.
I just love how you went from Jesus was the first incel directly into Jesus liked to lay pipe.
Well, yeah, then the logic of what I was saying set in, and clearly Jesus fucked. Like,
clearly Jesus fucks. That's John 11:69. Jesus fucks.
He's like, damn girl, I can turn water into wine, and I can also turn that dress into a dress on my floor. That would have worked on me.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Teach a man to fish, he'll be full for a while of fish. Teach a man to lay pipe, he's gonna be busy. He was a carpenter. He was good at hammering and working with wood.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah, him. That's who I'm talking about. The exact one. You know. The dude who fucks.
Yeah, the guy, you know, yeah, one who fucks. That's his name among people who followed him. One who fucks.
Thou shalt slay puss. Or dick. I mean, I'm not judging. Whichever. Whatever he felt like. He's the Lord's son, after all. I think he's allowed.
Oh, anyway. So, yeah. What else do we want to say about this movie, Michelle? You seriously didn't like I get that it's ridiculous in the context of this movie, but as a set piece, that whole, just the way it happens where the boyfriend comes up from the basement and he walks into that room and they cut to that shot and there's this Linnea Quigley just all crucified out or whatever, just impaled on the deer head, just hanging there dead behind him. That whole sequence is just awesome.
It's because that sequence is where it took away the magic of what I liked so much. That's when I went, oh, now Santa's gonna go slay random people as Santa Claus. He's not affected. The first people he kills are the coworker who was attempting to sexually schmalt the other coworker who he had a crush on. So that is the bizarre twisting crosses of Santa and associated with bad things and killing sexual things. And now he's just breaking into houses, and these kids happened to be having sex and got murdered. I think if he had showed up at the house, as he demonstrated with the little girl, she said that she had been nice so she didn't get murdered. I think if he had just broken into a random house and everybody was sleeping and confused, they would have been fine. But now he's just going into houses and seeing who's fucking. That's not what Santa does. Santa goes down the chimney. He doesn't look at what you're doing with your own chimney.
But, Michelle, the question I asked was, ignoring all the context and the absurdity of it in and of itself. As a set piece, it was pretty fucking cool, right?
I didn't like the execution of it. It seemed implausible, but I do like the reveal when the boyfriend comes
That's
downstairs.
The part that seemed implausible.
That's the part I didn't like. It would take him so long. I would get so tired. I could not hold up a whole Linnea Quigley long enough to stab her on a rack of antlers.
I do want to, we get to the end, of course, and I feel like it does come back to some of that story about trauma feeding into, PTSD feeding into killer mindsets, and that idea of now his little brother is clearly being built as this potential successor to the violence, and they're showing you this sort of cyclical nature of things. Meanwhile, I'm back here okay, yeah, his little brother. What about all the rest of the fucking kids in this orphanage who have just, let me remind you, watched Santa Claus be fucking murdered right in front of their eyes, not once, but twice in the span of maybe, a couple of hours? 2 different Santa Clauses just get murdered right before their eyes? And there is some childhood trauma for a lot of children's in this movie.
Odds are very good that Billy's little brother has at least some small weird memory of his parents getting murdered by Santa.
Sure.
And so he just has one more devastating Santa experience than the other kids. If the other kids have one more bad Santa experience, that kid will also be fucked up. But listen, there's a certain number of Santa experiences. If you're a kid and you're traumatized by Santa twice at a mall, it's going to be different than Santa killed my parents and tried to sexually assault my mother, and then my brother, who was Santa, killed a lot of people.
Right, and I wasn't suggesting that they would be as potentially troubled as Billy's little brother. I'm just saying he's not the only one. that's gonna have to see a fucking therapist for a few years at the very least.
They're in an orphanage. They were already in therapy. Wait,
Fair.
never mind. It's the 1980s. They definitely were not getting therapy.
They definitely were not
it.
getting therapy. That's the whole point of the movie, Michelle. Yeah. They were not getting therapy.
Those kids are going to be his little elves. Throughout the year, they spend all year prepping for the next big murder day, and then they help Santa murder everybody. Lock your doors. Stuff up your chimneys. He's going to get to all the houses in one night.
I do also feel like clearly one of the things I found it charming about the film because I have a nostalgia for that era, because it's the kind of thing you would almost never get to see, at least not getting. This movie, by the way, for a short time was beating. It was released the same weekend as the original Nightmare on Elm Street, but it was initially released in more theaters than A Nightmare on Elm Street was, and for a very short time, it was actually outpacing A Nightmare on Elm Street at the box office. I think for just that one weekend or something to that effect. But like, so it was getting some reasonable success. But like, fuck, there was a thing I was a point I was trying to make here, and it just got completely derailed because I started talking about A Nightmare on Elm Street. But now I don't know what I was gonna say.
I think the point was made was that it's weird that this was beating Nightmare on Elm Street.
I don't think that's the point I was trying to make. I was going somewhere, but, you know, it happens.
What's that other Christmas movie, The Miracle on something Street?
Miracle on 34th Street?
Yeah. So Nightmare on Elm Street and Massacre on 34th Street. See, now if they had worked together, that could have been a whole Barbenheimer situation.
I'm pretty sure Massacre on 34th Street was an ECW pro wrestling event back in the 1990s.
Yeah, the 1990s happened after 1984. So it would have still been original for this movie. I'm telling you, Nightmare on Elm Street, Massacre on 34th Street, this would have been a much bigger event. This would have been a double feature instead of competing horror movies. It would have been a Barbenheimer thing. People would be like, did you go see both street murder movies this weekend? And I'd be like, hell yeah, I did. But if they were like, did you go see Nightmare on Elm Street or Silent Night, Deadly Night? I'd be like, I don't know. I didn't feel like watching two of them, so I only watched one. If only they had a Barbenheimer. And then they'd be like, what the fuck does that mean? It's 1984. Oh, yeah. In the later years, they're going to make a Barbie movie and an Oppenheimer movie. And the marketing is going to be very cute to wrap those two together. And they're going to be like, that sounds pretty horrifying for a movie about Oppenheimer. Yeah, but the internet loves it. And then they're like, what's the internet? And then I have to get back in my time machine real fast because things are about to get weird. And I'm about to make sure that my genetic heritage is all sorts of fucked up in ways that it currently isn't. I have gone too far. The butterfly effect is about to get at me. But first I gotta put some money in Bitcoin before I get in my time machine.
No, Michelle, no.
Tell me, if you went back in time with the knowledge you have right now, you would not put money in Bitcoin if you knew you're coming back?
No.
With the amount of money that you would come back to?
Yeah.
No, I would put money in Bitcoin. I would buy every Bitcoin.
Bitcoin is evil, Michelle.
Yeah. All millionaires got there by being evil. I'm just going to be another one of them.
Oh my God. Michelle, are you still there?
I think the internet chose a weird time to freeze,
or
else
I don't want to make it weird or nothing, but I do want to point out that all of a sudden the internet started glitching and you started cutting out and disappearing from my call. I'm getting no responses.
Oh God, is this the butterfly effect?
Well, what's happening right now is...
I tell somebody in 1984 what the internet is and everything's unraveling before my eyes?
No, Michelle, what happened is that you made it clear that you didn't have connection lost. Well, let's try to redial Michelle and see if we can get reconnected.
Let's see how that goes.
Ring-a-dingy-dingy. Are you back, Michelle?
Yeah.
You know what's fun about that is I could hear you the whole time.
Oh.
What I was trying to say once I figured out that you couldn't hear me, and then we got what I was saying is what just happened is that the internet heard you say that you would totally be evil for money and decided to punish you by making your internet connection suck.
I think the people behind the internet are looking for more people with their moral ambiguity. They would love that. They were probably too busy hacking into all my stuff to recruit me.
Well, I'm just saying.
Did I tell you the time that I was interrogated by an FBI agent and tried to become part of the Men in Black, and he didn't think that was as funny as I did?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, that happened once.
Oh, okay. Cool.
He didn't let me join.
Bitcoin is evil, Michelle.
I know, but it would make me a lot of money. I would come back and hope... okay, how about this? I go back in time, I buy my Bitcoin, and on the way out, I, assassinate Elon Musk as a baby or something.
But, Michelle, ultimately, the point we have to get to is that wealth hoarding is evil. So just... Yeah, so, even just the attempt to accumulate a massive wealth in itself is problematic.
I think we have a different definition of massive amount of wealth. I want to come back to a couple million and then pump that money into causes I care about to fight the evil people. Listen, there's a limited amount of Bitcoin. I should have a chunk of it and I can use it to fight the other people who have Bitcoin. You can't bring a knife to a gunfight. You can't bring a non-Bitcoin to a Bitcoin fight. We got to defeat these cyber terrorists in the way that they know how. With the made-up money system.
The only way we're going to stop the people whose technology is destroying the environment is to participate in the technology that's destroying the environment.
Exactly. Yeah, you get it. I'm glad you get it.
Well, we have completely
if I'm going
lost
back in
track.
time, buying Bitcoin is the least of anybody's worries. I am fucking things up.
That's fair. I was kind of hoping that if we got sidetracked hard enough that eventually it might bring me back to what it was that I was trying to say earlier when I was started talking about A Nightmare on Elm Street, but it didn't happen. So I appreciate the game effort, Michelle.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
I have nails now.
Oh.
I did my nails throughout this.
Oh, while we were doing this whole episode, you did your nails? Oh.
I did my nails. So
I
it's
love
one
that.
less thing on my to-do list.
I love the amount of commitment that you're clearly demonstrating to the podcast when you're paying so much attention that you're just going to do your nails while you're doing the show. I get it, Michelle.
I clearly was paying enough attention that you didn't even know I was doing my nails. So
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. These also are too long and have already fucked up my ability to keyboard. I can't type for shit.
What you got to do, Michelle, is you gotta paint like orange and red or green and red stripes on them, like Freddy's. What the fuck just happened to my mouth?
I went back in time to 1984 and I fucked up Freddy's Elm Street, so now he's known as Freddy Frufra. That's what he's called now in this.
What I was trying to say is you need to paint your fingernails to look like Freddy's sweater, because then they look like Freddy, but they're also like your own little Fred. Never mind.
Yeah, but dumb. They're white because it's snowing and it's Christmas, so they're white.
Is that why they're white, Michelle?
They're white and glittery. It has nothing to do with racism. It has to do with snow and Christmas vibes.
I didn't say anything about racism. I was just like, I think they're white because you're white.
How dare you? What do you mean I'm white?
What I love about it that I never considered is it sort of implies that apparently I think black people have black fingernails. It's so fucked up. What am I doing?
And they don't.
They don't. Nobody does.
They're very light.
Everybody has white fingernails.
What if everybody's fingernails were the exact same color of the rest of their skin? In fact, what if their fingernails were exactly skin? There was no difference. They were not hard.
If you had, look, I'm here. Fucking melanated fingernails would be fucking rad. I would love to have fucking melanistic fingernails.
You want... Okay, I don't know what melanistic means. Does it mean skin?
No, melanistic is the higher level of melanin in skin, the darker colored it is. So, like, melanistic... Yes. Melanistic is the opposite of albino is as a descriptor, but yeah, more melanin means darker colored. Okay, so highly melanated fingernails would be like black fingernails, yeah.
Then I do know what that means, and that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying take skin, and the skin that's like on your wrist is now what your fingernails are also made of.
Oh, so like your whole body is made of like keratin?
Yeah. The exact same type. There's no difference in the type of skin on your body. It is all the exact same type of generic skin.
Your whole skin is fingernails?
Yeah, fingernails all the way down.
I
think that's a Pokemon. That's basically a Sandslash.
I don't like how thinking about that is making me feel, Michelle.
People would be like cats with the jingle color where you would
sort of
hear
weird
them coming because they would just be right clicking.
I'm starting to be around. Like, I'm getting a real anxious sort of like hand jitter. I'm like, are my fingers turning into fingernails?
Oh no! That's a horror movie where you just slowly become fingernails. But you're a fingernail biter, so you start eating yourself and you can't stop.
God. All right, you got to get to work on the script immediately. Say goodnight, Michelle.
Yeah. Oh, good night, Michelle.